Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas Pinkevičius
and Aušra Pinkevičienė.
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist, a program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Aušra.
Let's start episode 279 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Rob. He writes, perhaps it is a good idea to help beginning organists by instructing them how to accompany a singing audience during a church service. Not everybody know how to accompany singing hymns, etc. during a church service. That's a nice question, Aušra.
It is, yes. Actually, I think it's a very common, difficulty to accompany singing, choir or singing congregation. It's actually a true art. It's much different from what you do when you are playing solo.
You can see a big difference sometimes when people normally play hymns and when you attend, let's say, a hymn service, a special hymn festival even, right? When guest organist comes into town and directs the congregation in singing hymns, and that person is an expert in leading and improvising on those hymns too. So it will be like a short interactive concert, but interactive in a way that the congregation joins into.
True, and it's a big difference. For example, if the Protestant church sings or Catholic church sings, because let's say in Lithuania there are very few singing churches in general, and usually it's organist's responsibility not only to accompany hymns but also to lead them. It means that organist plays himself and sings himself or herself at the same time, and it's really difficult.
I guess this is more common in European Catholic churches.
True, in America it's a little bit different.
So, what do you do for starters if you are a beginner? I guess if you cannot play the hymns with your hands and feet, maybe the feet are not that crucial for starters, right?
Well, yes and no, because if you are leading a big congregation, then I think that pedal is crucial, because the foundation of 16 foot in the pedal is very important, because that way everything sticks together much better than playing without a pedal. But anyway, if you are accompanying other people or choir or congregation, you need to know your hymns extremely well. That's no question. You have to be able to play them technically without any difficulties, because all your attention during the real performance will be hold on listen to the congregational singing or choir singing.
Yes, and if a beginner is in a situation like when they have to accompany a big congregation, I guess it's not really normal, because people with experience have to accompany large congregations, right? I guess that's more of an emergency sometimes like when you have to jump in and substitute when an organist is not there. So it's a big stress for a beginner to do this with pedals. I would recommend not playing four voices right at the beginning and just playing soprano with the right hand and the bass with the left hand, but using full principal chorus registration, meaning you have principals 8/4/2 and a mixture plus 16 foot in the manuals. What do you think about that?
Yes, that's true. And also another thing that helps me to accompany congregational singing or choir, I sing together with them, not necessarily physically, but in my mind. That I would know texts good, I would know where the end of phrases are, where congregation or choir has to take a breath. That way, my accompaniment will breathe too.
Mm-hmm. And you're right, Osha. You have to sing, breathe together, and it takes a lot of preparation, right, for the beginner. It's simply not feasible for a beginner organist who never played in front of an audience to jump in and just sit down and sight read a two-part hymn like soprano and the bass, as I talked earlier. It's not realistic at all, right? People will get stuck and probably, have panic attacks most of the time. So I guess it takes a lot of work. How much work, Osha, does it take to prepare one hymn for beginner?
Well,
in two parts. Imagine yourself if you can.
I don't know now already because I'm not a beginner. It's hard for me to tell how much time, but you need to take as much time that you would feel comfortable with certain hymn. For somebody it may take half an hour, for somebody maybe an hour and maybe even more. But
much likely more.
If you are a regular church organist, after a while, beginning will be hard, but then after a while, hymns will start to circulate sort of, and you will come back to the old ones, and you will build your own hymn repertoire, and it will gets easier and easier with time. So it's just matter of time and practice and experience.
What I found sort of instructive, I did an experiment a few years ago with the Jig Fugue by Bach, BWV 577. When it was the first time basically I learned it, and I counted the number of repetitions. How many times do I have to repeat this piece in a slower tempo, in a faster tempo? It was very tempo for me before I could play it in public. You know what the number was?
I don't know. Tell me.
100.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a more or less virtuosic piece, of course.
Yes, it is. Hymns are not so virtuosic.
But you see, I was an advanced organist playing virtuosic music, and it was basically my level of repertoire, right? Maybe when beginners play two-part, as we call bicinium organ settings, organ hymns, that's also their repertoire, one part in each hand, and they can do this. So I guess this is kind of a similar situation. If people sometimes don't know how many times do they have to repeat each hymn, make it 100.
Sure.
So then it would be more realistic. And if you fail after that in public performance, it means that you're not failing because of lack of repetition, but because of something else, maybe lack of focus. Right, Osha?
Yes, and another thing which I think is very important when accompanying hymns is taking a right tempo. So always think about tempo, and in order to take it, you need to sing with him yourself to see if it's not too slow or no, not too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So text is very important, of helping you to decide what kind of tempo should be.
So if you get called to accompany congregation the next Sunday, and if you are a beginner, and a priest or a pastor gives you how many, 4, 5, 6 hymns for a service to prepare in 7 days.
Start right away.
Start right away, as Osha says, but also be realistic, because 4, 5, 6, let's say 6 hymns, that would be like normal Protestant church count of hymns, number of hymns that you will need. So 600 repetitions you will need with this, and of course you will be practicing much slower than a concert tempo or public performance tempo, which means that one verse will last more than 1 minute. Usually one verse lasts 1 minute, right? And there you will play maybe for 2 or even 3 minutes. So 3 minutes times 600, how many minutes do you have to do this?
You see how different we are. I never count, the numbers of repetition, how many times I have to repeat my piece. And Vidas loves to count everything to plan everything. For one hymn, maybe you will have to do all those, repetitions. For another, maybe not. Maybe it will be easier.
But I'm trying to save people from disaster during public performance, from the stress that they will say, I will not play in church ever again.
Somebody after listen to your podcast, all those big numbers of hymn repetition might say, oh no, organ playing is not for me. I won't be able to do all these things.
Wait a second. 3 minutes per verse in a slow tempo times 600 repetitions means 1,800 minutes. How many hours is that, Osha?
I don't know. Math is not my strength.
So
Stop scaring organists.
In a week, yes, you have to do in a week. So that's a lot, right? Maybe 30 hours. Could be.
Yes. I think you just need to know that, playing solo and playing accompaniments is 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
And we will give you different experiences. But we both feel wonderful. I think that feeling of, accompanying congregation is really wonderful. I really miss, working in, good Protestant church and accompanying congregation singing. We don't have that so much in Lithuania. And that's what I miss about United States so much.
Right. Yes, we calculated and it is 30 hours.
Vidas calculated and it's 40 hours.
I call myself we. Yes. Very nice. So guys, I'm pretty confident if I take a beginner at the organ and this beginner organist perseveres for 30 hours per week, he or she could play 6 hymns the next Sunday. What do you think?
Well, if you will practice for so many hours, I think in a month or so you won't be a beginner anymore.
But just in a week, with 6 hymns. And 2 parts, not 4 parts, and with pedals, without pedals at all. So that's realistic, but you have to stick to that rigorous schedule, and not too many people can do that. So as Osha says, there is another way to do minimum required work and simply enjoy playing and enjoy your practice. Right, Osha?
Yes, that's right.
Because when you practice,
miracles happen.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online, where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, "The sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help."
Robert writes, "I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent."
John writes, "I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you were teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right, as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor."
Robert writes, "It has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching."
Ron writes, "Hi Vidas and Ausra, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home, and lucky that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Ausra and Vidas are like a Socratic dialogue, and by bouncing things off of each other, so much more information comes out and is expressed. Your comments contain a wealth of information and understanding. I really appreciate this. It is very inspiring and will keep us moving forward."
Would you like to receive the same or even better results that our students are getting? If so, join them at organduo.lt/total-organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to receive free updates of this blog, make sure you do that at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video, how to master any organ composition, and 10-day organ playing mini course.
This was Vidas.
And Ausra from Secrets of Organ Playing.
And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.